in all of the parts and pieces involved in creating this ground support, you have a 2-meter ladder truss, you have a 1-meter ladder truss, you have the base, the foot, the header, and the rear brackets. These are the tools that will be required. 12-inch crescent wrench for leveling, hammer for the pins, and then an 8-millimeter wrench for the rear bracket. To start, you'll lay out all of your feet to create one row along the base of where the LED is going to go. This will compromise all the feet that you will use for the entire setup. In a normal setup, you will have one vertical that will be every other tile. In this case, we're going to put 2 side by side to give an example as to what needs to be done to set up more than one vertical. You'll start, once your feet have been laid out with your header on it, by taking the base and sliding the base onto the foot. Insert the pins into the base, give a little tap. Once you put the pins into the base, you will take your arc clip and attach it underneath into the pin if it wants to go. Now, once you have your base in place and you have each one of your headers in a row, you can then place your first vertical. Pull the pins. We always start with the 2-meter vertical. Place it into the slot. Your pins always go the same direction. Hammer might be necessary for proper Once those pins have been inserted, our clips go in for safety. Following that, the 1-meter piece goes on top. Pull your pins, pull your bullets. Don't drop your bullets. And add your 1-meter piece to the top. Our clips for safety. Once you've gotten to this point, the next step is to put your first tile into place. Josh has been so kind to get us a box of tiles. Remove one tile from the box. Make sure you flip all your corner protectors. Take your rear angle pieces and ensure that both of them are set to -5 to ensure proper installation. The LED panel sits on the header. Sometimes it takes a moment to find the proper footing. And lock it into place. At this point, you may need to slide the header closer to the other one. Make sure you're on the proper angle. And then work to attach the bottom one. 90-degree turn on the nut. Use this lever to tighten. Now, you will notice that we actually have a gap here. This gap will need to be closed up by leveling out the base. As you're building your first row, you can use your first row to level out all of your LED and ensure that you're sitting completely flush across the top. To level, you'll take your wonderful 12-inch crescent wrench. And on the base, we'll turn the foot until it's level with the one next to it. At this point, I recommend taking a level and measuring to make sure that it actually is level. Getting closer. One more twist. Beautiful. Then we will go to the back, take our piece, turn it in, and lock it together. Nice and clean. Then we'll grab a 2-foot level, we'll throw it on it, and we're level. Next piece, the rear bracket. This keeps the tile from tipping over. The best way to do this is to start with only one tile in place. Put your first 2 anchor points in to the bolt holes. Make sure that they're lined up. Don't tighten, but close your bracket. And then loosely tighten the bolt. Make sure your spacer's there. And repeat the same process on the other side. Now you'll notice there are 3 holes, 2 and 3. We are using the middle hole on this particular LED for the next tile that will go above. You want to make sure that your bolts are slightly loose, as you will need a little bit of play in them for the next level. Then set your angle to -5 again to make sure that your next tile coming in sits level. Tile number 2. Angle pieces. LED in place. Lock the bottom. Side up. In. Tighten. Locked in. Lastly, 8mm wrench again. Second bolt hole. and finish screwing it all the way in. And now you're sturdy and you're safe. This process will continue up